So can you see her?
That shit, number money, go get it, they don't get better than this. Know them haters, man, fuck it, let them go and throw a fit while I'm on some jigger shit. Yeah, on to the net. You can ask my last bitch, nigga, I ain't seen it since. Bad bitches on deck that I ain't seen yet. Cause I'm all about a dollar, you can only fuck a bitch. Meaning about a dollar, then homie, fuck a bitch. Daddy was a player, but daddy was a pimp. The game all in me, nigga, you can tell me shit. I can show you how to ball, boy, you dealing with a vet. Go back off the mall, eat you willing in the vet. From be dealing on the set to be business writing checks. Real balls, slipping him off his feet up on the desk, and I ain't done yet. Secretary on speed, I like Mr. President on some big bill shit. From the big bill shit, from the house to the whip, it's the script like a pimp, 40 cal, prescription, proud on my hip, 3 G's in this bitch, real G's getting ripped, recording live from the pimp, ripping right up the flip, whole click getting rich, won't stop, get ripped, niggas know what I'm on this bitch, niggas know what I'm on in this bitch, niggas know what I'm on in this bitch.
Nigga, I'm on one, I'm out here getting it in, represent my game, so let that be a one until you motherfuckers out here on the wrong thing. I'm on it, man, from sun up, nigga, to the twilight, loud packing Molly, so you know a nigga high, right? Hoes choosing, which means somebody in the game losing. Strapped up in a big black truck, me and my goons cruising. Dirty, I ain't never seen this much money. If you ain't on one, nigga, your ass is a damn dummy. I'm on one. LB's on my feet, nigga, looking so clean. I'm on one. That excursion with that 6-inch lip looking so mean. I'm on one. Blacked out with the triple G theme, me and my whole team. I'm on one. I don't want no bits and pieces, bitch, I want the whole thing. Yeah, I'm on one. Shit changed, but I remain up in the gang bang. Yeah, I'm on one. No time for hanging, rather be out.
Yeah. Bring me in.
People.
Yeah, you hear me? Yeah. What up with the world? We had a couple of technical difficulties. Don't know what the fuck was going on. Hey, what's up with the cuz?
What's up? Can you hear and see?
I can hear you now. I can see you now. Y'all live. What's the word? Welcome. This is a conversation with Perryon. We got Ronnie Romance in the building, all the way from Dallas, Texas. What's the word, man? Who you got with you?
I got Big Mike School. You want to introduce yourself, Big Mike?
How you doing, my brother? My name is Michael Hamilton, and I go by the name of Big Mike.
Yes,
but
sir.
I also go by the name School. That's my clothing line and my moniker.
Yeah, I see it. Look fresh. We checking it out.
Oh well, hey man, I'm the overlord of fresh, so that's always mandated.
That's what's up.
And not too much, my brother. Pleased to be on here with you.
Hey man, it's a pleasure, man. I was looking at your page and seeing some of the poetry that you have, man. Very impactful words, bro. And I salute that. You know, I do writing myself, so it's definitely got an ear to it, and you definitely got it, big dog.
Oh man, appreciate that, cuz. I've been at the poetry thing since 2009.
Yeah.
You know, I drift in and out of it, but it's always there. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's what's up. So what else you got going on up there, cuz, with him? Talk to him. I'm gonna let you do the talking. We just here. We gonna chime in.
So I got some stuff. So I'm gonna piggyback. We're gonna piggyback off the poetry, right?
Yeah.
So 2009 to 2025. I graduated high school in 2009.
Okay.
So 2025 is definitely a whole different feel. So like, how you think the poetry changed and you changed from like 2009 to now?
Oh, I can't say the poetry scene is gonna be the poetry scene. You're gonna always have people with words, feelings, and emotions that want to go out and just express themselves. You know, I haven't been active on the poetry scene as far as going out doing open mics and stuff like that. But I always try to put some content out, you know, whenever the feeling hits me, because I did so much when I was out there that I have, you know, work upon work to put out to, you know, let people hear. So I just completed a poem for a friend that's she did a book and she wants to do an audio book, and I wrote a poem for her book. So that kind of got me back going into that. You know, I've written music. You know, I've done a full-length poetry project, and so you know that it's always been in me. So that part of me is always there. Like I said, I haven't been active on the poetry scene, but I do have friends that are still out there. And like I said, you know, Wednesday nights, Thursday nights, nightclubs, lounges. That's still active here in Dallas. That's one thing I can say about the city of Dallas. There's a
Yeah,
lot of things to do and a lot of places to do it in.
yeah,
So it's out there. But, as far as me, how much I've changed since then, that's 16 years ago. You
yeah,
know, since then, I've been married. I've had some more children. My business, I'm a barber by profession,
yeah.
30 years in the game. So,
That's what's up.
I've been doing that, most of my adult life. And I've just evolved and grown as a human and become more and more in tune with what's needed and necessary from me as a person. And that's just, that's what I strive to do every day, get better and be better every day.
Wow, that's what's up, bro. And having that passion for that long, it speaks volume. Well, doing it that long speaks volume to the passion, rather. And that's what's up. And everything evolves. You feel me? For us, that time to now, the whole scene of things definitely have evolved. But like you say, long as there's still rooms that you can do your craft, that it's kind of that same vibe, no matter what. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. Once you get on that stage and you get the microphone in your hand, the
Yeah,
words, the words are the words. I don't
yeah,
care where you're standing at, where you at, what time you at.
that's
The
real.
words, that's what's gonna captivate the people.
Yeah,
So culture don't really affect poetry as much as it affect music.
Man, they've been saying poetry, man, since the biblical times. So
yeah,
poetry gonna be poetry.
Right.
People want to hear what you have to say and how artistically you can say it.
yeah. Yeah, that's the truth. And even with music, even though the time changed, certain music is timeless and it resonates with you no matter what time it is. You know what I'm saying? We still listen to 70 music and 80s music or whatever. So like you say, the words be so packful, they go beyond time. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And for those that are in the music business, and like I said, I write music as well. But the one thing, as a musical artist, when you make music, you're striving, or you should strive to make timeless music. You can make music for your time period,
Definitely.
but you should be striving to make timeless music. Because,
Definitely.
like you said, we still listen to music from the 50s and the 60s and the 70s and the
Uh-huh.
80s, 90s, and so forth.
Yeah.
But we're not listening to all of that music. All
Yeah.
of that music wasn't timeless.
Nah,
Mhm.
all
It's
of it don't
music that's
last.
being made right now that'll still be listened to decades and decades from now. But
Yeah.
it's a lot of this music that's gonna wash down the drain because
Yeah.
it's just for this moment.
It's
Pick a
no
hit right now
substance.
that's on the radio. What you think? You think we got one right now?
I don't listen to the radio. That's one
Okay.
thing I don't do. But as far there's an artist that I like that I think made some time. Well, I know he made a time record. Big X the Plug.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big X the Plug. When he made that song Texas, that song will play here forever,
Yeah.
Okay.
ever.
He
As
doing
long
big
as
things.
Texas is a state, that song will play. And I
Yeah.
don't know if he went in there to make a timeless song, but he made one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got him
So
one.
before Big X, do you think Texas had one before that?
Oh yeah, we got. I mean, you
What was
have
the last one?
the,
You
as
think?
far as Texas wide. I'm gonna say I'm going old school because I'm an old person. Lil Kiki made Southside. That
Yeah.
song still played.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a Houston song, but there's a South Side of every city,
So
Yeah.
you
so
gonna like,
it
yeah,
plays everywhere.
yeah.
I don't know if he went in to make a timeless song,
Yeah.
but he made one.
Well,
Okay.
I can't be renounced to mention Texas without mentioning my dudes who behind you, the Kings, UGK, right?
Oh,
So I
absolutely.
definitely got to mention the guys. And when I think of Texas, me being from that era, them the first guys I think of. You know what I'm
Well, they
saying?
make what UGK did for the state of Texas. Like once again, because I'm an older person,
Yeah.
I was there from the inception.
Yeah.
The Ghetto Boys put Texas on the map.
That's right.
That's the group that put Texas on the map and made people know that Texas had something to say in the culture of hip hop.
Yeah.
But GK made it cool to be from Texas.
From that part. You hear
They
me?
made it cool to be from Texas.
That part.
So when
That
they
part.
came out with "Tell Me Something Good,"
Yeah.
I was young and in the streets, so you couldn't go anywhere and not
Without
hear
hearing
that
it. I
and
can
not hear
imagine
that
how it
song.
was in Texas because it was impactful in St. Louis. You know what I'm saying? Uh, just during that era, and I came. I'm a little younger than you, but I came in that same time. You know what I'm saying? Where that was the music my uncles then was listening to, and that was the music I grew up on. And when I made music, that was the tapestry that we was uh, trying to mimic. We wanted that same nostalgic. You know what I'm saying? uh, yeah, man. So Texas definitely had a major influence.
Yeah, UGK is. I mean, they man, they've written the Bible for Texas, man.
Man,
The music that Pimp C was able to produce,
yeah,
and with the words that Bun B was able to say, in the
yes,
time
sir.
that they were together while Pimp was alive,
Yeah,
that music is classic. They got, I mean, they have multiple timeless songs and hits and records that's gonna always play.
yeah,
Those are what you call pioneers. That's your George Washingtons, your Abe
yeah,
Lincolns.
definitely,
Those
man.
guys they foundational like that.
Yeah.
So if you having a bad day, good day, anything, what's your go-to that's gonna get you right? Your go-to UGK.
Oh, my favorite UGK album is Super Tight.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
So I go listen to that
Quit
Super
playing.
Tight. I
Quit
put
playing.
on that It's Supposed to Bubble or I Left It Wet
You
or
heard me?
something like that.
Yeah.
That just put me in that get me in a nice mood
That
or
it
at least
poster
get me in a
bubble.
mode to where I can think and focus on what it is
Yeah.
that I need to get done or how I need to get out of that mood that I'm in.
That's
So
right.
that's my go-to.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the real hustlers music to me, man. I still that's they still in my playlist, you know what I'm saying? Always. I was privileged to meet both of the guys and actually be in videos, and my partner got a song with Pimp C, man. So
Oh,
it's definitely some tight ties from St. Louis to Texas. So it's
oh,
always
that's
salute.
awesome right there,
Yeah,
bro.
we
That's
got
and boy,
yeah.
that's to be treasured and
Yeah,
cherished.
of course, man. I had to mention that, man. We to just to been able to be around someone you looked up to in that regard, being a kid and be around one of your idols, and then being able to work with him in certain capacities is it was definitely an experience. And even being in the studio when my guy did the song with Pimp C and them, so it's always it's a vibe. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely, and what gets lost so often, especially when you talk about somebody like PMC. PMC died young. He was in his 30s.
yes, sir.
And
Yes,
we're
sir.
just about the same age. So he died very young. So just think about it. We only knew Pimp probably from about 17 or 18 years old
Yeah,
to about 33, 34
yeah.
years old. So in that 15, 16 years, look
All,
how he impacted the world of hip hop,
Yeah.
all them
state of
guys,
Texas
man.
hip hop, and it's amazing because people still speak of him so highly. And he ain't made music since the early 2000s.
Yeah, that's that. I was just talking to somebody about Tupac here on the wall right now. But speaking about how he died so young, but with such an impact, and words have that type of power, man. It's a when you got the capacity to write in any type of way, whether it's music, poetry, books, however, it's a blueprint to who you are. You leaving something behind that people can always dig you up on. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a good talent to have in itself, man. To be able to articulate yourself with words is to leave a message in stone, especially these days. Yeah. So
Absolutely,
that's
absolutely,
powerful.
man. The spoken and the written word, man, will go on for eons and eons.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's what this whole thing about, man. The power of the word, the conversation. Understanding that it takes us to speak things one into existence, but speak to each other to make things happen. You feel me? A whole lot of things that go on in the world is lack of using or knowing the proper words to use in proper time for certain situations, man. So words is definitely powerful. You feel me? Uh,
Absolutely,
yeah,
communication is key.
it's the
Communication is key for understanding and comprehension.
hell
You have
yeah.
to be able to articulate what it is the message that you want to get across,
Uh
how
huh.
you want it to get across. Those things, the word is the way you do that.
That's real. And I see you work with the kids, and one thing I tell the kids that stick and stone thing, that's a lie. Stick and stones, they do break your bones, but words hurt too. Because before the stick and stones, the words is what trigger shit. You feel me?
And
And
Absolutely.
after
and
the sticks and
is that
stones,
it,
the
yeah.
word was gonna stick after the band-aids
Yeah,
come
and
off.
it's what's
Yeah.
gonna stick. So words are impactful, and we got to be mindful of them words. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, words do
That,
hurt
that,
people.
that's, that's so profound because where we're at now in the world that we live in now, especially in the black community and black culture,
Yeah,
uh, the words that are spoken have become so uh, disrespectful to one another. See, what most people have lost sight of or have not really been introspective enough about is You know what you said. The things that you say perpetuate the things that you want to do.
That is. And it's the
Or
words.
they will set you up to have to do the things that you said.
That part.
So you have to be mindful of how and what you say and to whom you say it. You know, the disconnect between generations. This is something I'm big on.
Mm-hmm.
Disconnect between generations. You know, I started a clothing line called School. Instead, the acronym for school is Schooling Kings Out of Love. What that basically means is, in the Black community, when you reach a certain age, you become referred to by the younger people as school. Started off as old school, then it got thrown to school somewhere along the line. So when you get to a certain age, somebody young, it's the same as somebody calling you uncle. Here in Texas, school, uncle, all that stuff is synonymous. But I chose school for my clothing line.
Yeah.
So my responsibility as an older man is to make sure I pass on the information, knowledge, and life lessons that I've learned to somebody younger.
That's real.
See, for me to have the information and die with that information without passing it on does me no good, and it does no one else any.
That's right.
So my mission in my life has been to pass that knowledge on.
That's real.
I've been a barber for 30 years. I was a football coach for 9 years. I've been a youth mentor in the school system before.
Yes, sir.
So I'm always trying to talk to young people and pass on what I know. Practical. I'm not trying to give you things that's gonna fly over your head. I'm gonna talk straight to a young person.
That's right.
And let them know exactly what it is.
Well, that's when we really,
because I don't want it to get lost in translation.
That's right.
I want them to truly understand. And the bridge, and where we're at right now, and the reason we have such horrific acts that happen in our community is because the bridge between the young people, the YN, and the older cats, the school, is because that bridge has been broken.
That's right.
Prison, through death,
that's
violence,
right.
and through the lack of love that men are supposed to show to the younger men.
Yeah.
That's been disconnected. You know, if your dad, if you're a young kid and your dad go off to go to prison 10, 15 years, you know what I'm saying? You missing there's a void there.
Yes, sir.
Or if your dad is not a part of your life, that's a void that's left that needs to be filled. So that young person, that young man grows up devoid of that intimate contact he needs and that reflection of a man that he needs to see so that he knows how to govern and conduct himself. So when we see the YNs out here that's acting up, that's killing everybody, that's in these gangs, see, that's a bunch of young cats that ain't had no daddy that showed them the right thing.
Oh, yeah.
Probably always their work. So
and one thing I give women, the women that are put into the situation that are forced to be the not only the custodial parent, but the only parent, they doing what they can. And it's one thing a woman can't do. She can raise a child, but she can't raise no man.
She definitely
that's just not gonna happen. I don't care how tough she might be or how hard she might be. He can't see that reflection of himself to represent what he should be striving to be.
That's real.
So that disconnect that we have within our community, it has to be bridged. Men have to take responsibility. If you're going to father a child, and this is boy or girl, but definitely with these boys, if you're going to father these children, I don't care if you and the woman not together no more.
That's right.
You still got to step up and fulfill your obligation to that child.
That part.
You have to do that. And that's where, as a community, we become lax. I always put it like this. My father's generation is the generation that started the disconnect, that stopped being there for the kids.
Yeah.
Like, it was happening before them, but that's the generation where it was widespread, because those are the guys that started going to jail in the 70s and the 80s. And once crack hit in the mid 80s and the 90s, that's when we really started losing them in numbers. But you as a man have to step up and say, I'm gonna be there for my kids, regardless of what me and this woman dealing with, whether we together or we not. I still got to spend the time with my kids, put the lessons into my kids, show them that love, and tell them that I love them if I want them to come out of this and have a chance at being productive citizens. See, that was my goal when I had children. Number one, I'm gonna be a loving and present father. But my goal is to make sure I put productive citizens out into society.
That's right.
And more men have to adopt that mindset, because if we can do that, See, it's hard for a young nigga to go out there with them pistols and with them other hard heads if he know his daddy gonna be at the house waiting on him.
That's right. Well,
And
once it's
then
not
to
society
piggyback off
norm,
that,
we made it society. Excuse my fucker. We made it society norm on certain things to an aspect, right? When
Uh-huh.
there's no boundaries, no restrictions, no regulations on what they doing, like you say, we kind of got a disconnect, man. It's through a lot of things, and back to how you begin with the word and the things we digestion, not only speaking but allowed to be spoken onto us. You feel what I'm saying? We accept what's been said about us to a point that we conform to society's identity of who we supposed to be. You know, and now you have a lot of kids who haven't had a father in the household, so they looking for ways to identify their masculinity, and our culture tells them violence over sexuality, carry your gun. It's the way to ensue that. You feel me? So it's a lot of work to be done, man. So I salute definitely you in any regards to understanding that it's a gap that got to be bridged, right? It's
Absolutely.
yeah,
And what well, piggybacking on what you just said, you know, the misnomer is that it's hard. It's not.
yeah,
And every individual
yeah.
took it upon themselves
That's
to
right.
just respect the circle of people that they come in contact with. See, it's not necessarily my job
To
to
change
come
the
and try to
world.
fix St. Louis.
That's right.
My job is to fix first and foremost children that I fathered in my household.
That's right.
Then the children that I come in contact with through my work and through my outreach.
Uh-huh.
That's what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, right.
Every individual person just took it upon themselves from within the black community. Say, you know what? I'm gonna make sure my son ain't no menace to society,
Mhm.
but my nephews and my sister kids, my brother kids, I'm gonna say something positive to them. The kids that's on my son's football team, I'm gonna say something positive to them. The kids that come in my shop, I'm gonna say something to them positive. If
Yeah.
everybody just did that, that's not a lot of work.
Nah,
That's we make it harder than what it is. But if we just concerned ourselves with the people we come in contact, I call it the circle of influence.
that's right.
See, I live in a suburb of Dallas that's called Louisville.
Uh-huh.
I work in a suburb of Dallas that's called Plano. See,
Yeah.
I don't have no business trying to worry about fixing Oak Cliff.
Yeah.
That's a long ways away from me.
Yeah.
I need the people in Oak Cliff to be worrying about fixing Oak Cliff.
Uh-huh.
I need to affect the people that I can affect. And if everybody took that approach, the problem gets fixed.
That's real. And like the key thing is it starts in your household because too often we worried about what's going on outside before we fix what's going on inside. And that's on every level, starting with yourself as well, right? So
Home is
when you take
always
it,
where
yeah, when you take that first approach to say that I'm a change, then everything around you kind of follows suit because it's a tolerance. When you don't got no more tolerance for certain things and the expectations for other, then everything fall in line, man, with what you dealing with. And that's you
and you just
perfectly
don't
said.
know how much fixing your household will like just help out the community. It'll shorten, help speed up what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
You making stand-up kids, your kids passing the message that you pass to them. So maybe they circle of influence is different than yours. They at school, but they taking what you taught them.
Man.
Then when they on the street, they not looking at the schools on the street as this bum or whatever, however they look at the men on the street. You know what I'm saying? They
It's
looking at it
infectious.
in the reflection like this can be my father. This,
Yeah.
all these men around his age or whatever. The breakdown is not that bad because I do see my dad in this man. So it's a level of respect there,
Knowledge
So
is
just
infectious though, but that's why we can put it in biblical context or however. But what you do when you choose to share knowledge is by definition is spreading the word, right? When you share what you know with others to lift them up, that's spreading the word. It don't always have to be in biblical content. It can be me telling you a trade that's gonna get you out of your economical state. Me teaching you something. That's the word, right? See, we get so holier than thou with how God worked, then we forget. Hey, you could be right where you at to be a helper in this situation. You know what I'm saying? You can be right exactly who you are. You ain't got to be a holy man per se to be a helpful man. You feel me?
Absolutely not. And you have to meet people where they're at.
That part.
Everybody doesn't have the understanding or the upbringing within the religious background to maybe necessarily grasp the concept. You know, I'm a firm believer. I have faith. I'm not religious. I have strong faith in God. So God stands at the top with me. But I understand that everybody may not have the same understanding that I have. And I'm not a Bible scholar, so I don't try to preach that. I don't try to preach a lot of Bible. I would tell somebody that I'm talking to that understand that there's somebody that created you, me, everything that we see and exist, and that's the power that guides us. But like the biggest thing we got to go back and circle back to is you got to get your home together.
That's right.
You have to govern your house, legislate your house. And when I say your house, I'm really saying your village, because once again, you and that woman may not be together and live under the same roof. But when I say your house, I'm talking about between you, her, and them kids. You got to govern that from the man's point of view and from the man's standpoint. One thing is two words that I've used to raise my children. I have 3 adult children, 30, 29, and 27. And I have 2 toddlers, 4 and 2. One thing that's been consistent is accountability and expectation. If you raise your children, and I don't care where you live, you can live in Des Moines, Iowa, Seattle, Washington, New York, Florida, Texas, California. Accountability and expectation. If you teach your children that they have to be accountable for what they're responsible for.
That part.
I'm gonna hold you accountable for what you're responsible for, and I'm gonna hold me responsible for what I'm responsible for. And expectation. This is what I expect you to do. See, if you hold your children to those 2 things, your children have an 85 to 95% chance to become as successful as they grow up and go out into the world. Because what happens is they grow up understanding that there's consequences to my action or my inaction.
That's right.
And my parents have expectations of what I'm supposed to be and supposed to do. What that basically is that's the carrot that's in front of the horse. If your children are consistently chasing those expectations that you have for them,
that's right,
they continue to strive towards those goals. So when you let them go out into the world, they go out to that world with the mindset of I have things I'm trying to achieve and things I have to get to because they've been raised with expectation. I've been around so many kids that their parents don't really have no expectations for them. And that hurts the kids because the kids are a sponge. Kids are going to soak up what you put in front of them. Kids are going to be governed by the guidelines that you put in place. If you make your guidelines this wide, they're going to swing from wall to wall. If you narrow up that focus, they're going to stay within those lines. But you have to be consistent and on top of what you're doing if you want them to be there. See, I can't have a 15-year-old son that I let stay out till 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, come in the house like he want to, smell like weed, staying over his partner's house, coming home with stuff that ain't his. I can't allow that because what's going to happen is he's going to think that's okay, and he'll ingrain that into his spirit and his routine, and that'll be what he does. But if I hold that 15-year-old son, look here, son, by the time 8 o'clock at night, you better be in this house. You need to be here. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no drugs allowed here. You can't smoke with. But once again, in that house, I can't be smoking weed with him or smoking weed in front of him.
That's real.
Because I'm trying to raise him to be somebody.
That's real. It's what
See, the outside influences are going to be there. There's nothing I can do about what the world has to present and offer. But what I can do is let him know that what's expected of him and what he doesn't need to involve himself in. Because one thing you can't see, if my son goes out, he hanging out with his partners, they smoking weed, doing whatever it is they do. See, he gonna be scared to come in the house smelling like weed because he know that ain't how we get on.
That's right. It's a different expectation.
You have to do that, and this is girls too. I speak on boys because I'm a black man.
That's right.
So that's the most troubled group that we have. We have to make sure that we set the precedent so that our children understand. If on Saturday mornings, I got to clean the bathroom, I got to clean my room, and I got to make sure the grass is cut. When I come home, when I come back from the grocery store at 1 o'clock, that bathroom, that bedroom, and that grass need to be cut. If it's not, I'm going to ask you, why didn't you do those things? And you have to give me a viable answer because that's me holding you accountable.
That's right.
That's me holding you accountable. I went and got the groceries. I'm feeding you. I'm housing you. I'm clothing you. I'm living up to my expectations. Now I'm holding you accountable for your expectations. We have to do more. If we don't do that, if kids are just allowed to do what anything they want to do, they're going to make kid decisions.
Without a guide, they gonna be lost, and that's what we
Man,
got a lot of kids
you ever
lost.
put together a piece of furniture and you done lost the instructions?
That's right. You
You
don't
know
know
what
how
I'm
to
saying?
build it. You know,
Imagine how hard that's hard. You know,
that's
like,
hard.
man, where do this go? Where do this go?
Yeah,
You just start doing anything.
yeah,
So
yeah.
if
Trying
you
to
take
figure
that
it out.
mindset to those kids, you just leave them out there without no instruction, they just gonna figure it out some kind of way.
Yep.
Yeah, necessary
And what society tell them what it should be. Man,
That's
that's
what we
deep.
gotta do. If the black community, you know, we can talk politics and all of those things, man. But if black people don't get their houses together, we're gonna always be in this.
That's the main focus, man. We got to get this house in order, because that's
That's
the
it.
main.
Because what happens is if you live on you live on a street in St. Louis. Y'all got 9 houses on each side of the street.
Mm-hmm.
See, if me and my 8 neighbors make sure that all 9 of our houses are together on our street, then the people that live across the street, if they get their 9 houses together,
Yeah,
we got a good street. We
that
got a
part.
good block.
That part.
We make sure our neighborhood, now we go to the next street over and they make sure that their house is good. Now we have a good neighborhood.
That's right.
We take these neighborhoods and that neighborhood. Now we got a good community.
Duplicate.
That's the only we keep trying to build.
We gotta care about what we got.
All black people to that.
Yeah.
That's not gonna work.
Yeah, you gotta care about what you got. And like you say, the immediate, what's within your radius first. Stop trying to
it's hard.
over.
It's hard for me to say, you know, them folks in Mesquite need to get their stuff together when I don't have my stuff together right here.
Yeah.
I'm worrying about something way far away.
Yeah.
I need to get myself together, get my house straight. That way, when I step out and I go to my neighbor and tell him, hey, man, your son was outside late last night. I saw him and some of his partners smoking weed. I need to make sure my son wasn't out there with him.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's that accountability. Once again, accountability and expectation, not only for the children, but for the adults that are in these households.
Mm-hmm. You hold each other to a certain standard. Let us
That's
know,
it, man.
let each other
With
know
respect.
what's accepted.
With
With
respect.
respect. That's real. You know, what's
respect.
allowed and what's not allowed in this community. And it, like you said, with respect and a certain subtlety that's understood, man. We all raising kids to be a certain way. But
and the reason I harp on the kids is because, you know, at my age, I don't matter for the next 20 years. You know, I'm old. I'm an older man.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not what's going to affect the world like the 15-year-old kid. See, that 15-year-old kid has a chance to affect the world going forward.
That's right.
So they're the ones that are important. Like I said, my 4-year-old and my 2-year-old daughters, I'm trying to pour everything I can into them so that when they become adults, they've been schooled and gamed so that when they go out into the world and make their way, you know what I'm saying, I've given them as much as I could to make them, allow them to be successful, be productive, you know what I'm saying, and be honorable and respectful.
Yeah.
You know, that's you know, my adult children, I'm very proud of my kids. You know,
that's right.
I told my kids when they were young, if you sacrifice young, by the time you're 28 years old, you get to live the life that you want to live.
Mm-hmm.
Educationally, my oldest daughter, she's an artist. So school wasn't necessarily her thing. So she followed a different path. She went into the workforce, does her artwork, but she and her fiance, they have my 3 grandsons. Mm-hmm. So that's the path she chose. She's a good mother, you know what I'm saying? She's a good fiance for her fiance, and they're living that life. My son and my younger daughter, they both graduated college with master's degrees from the University of Texas. They're both working in their professions, living their lives. I told them no felonies, no babies. You get to live the life and do what you want.
That's right.
They follow that mandate, and that's what they do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not hard. I mean, I didn't teach it. I didn't stress nothing extraordinary. Just simple, basic things. But I stayed consistent with. Mm-hmm. I stayed consistent with this. This is where you got to go. These are the things you have to do. And I understand college isn't for everybody, but for my kids, I knew that was what I wanted them to do.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, the oldest one, she tried. That wasn't her. Hey, well, you got to choose another path. That's just what it was. My son was an athlete till he got to high school. He didn't want to play football anymore. So I told him, you got to get to college on your brains now. He said, cool, I got that.
That's right.
He got that. Like I said, I got 2 master's degrees on the wall up here from the University of Texas. I'm very proud of that because I went to college for 3 years but didn't graduate. So I wanted to make sure my kids, they completed their mission.
Yeah, yeah. That's important. That's important.
Structure and expectations definitely set you up for success.
Man, and it's not hard. Like I said, it's nothing extraordinary. It's not like you're doing algebra and trigonometry. This simple mathematics. Look, man, if you just stay on a good path, stay focused, keep yourself online, and you hold them accountable to that line, they got a chance. They have a chance. Period.
That's real.
Be whatever it is you want to be. I didn't tell my kids what they had to go to school for, what they had to be, any of that. But whatever it is, I told them, find you something that you love, that you can do, and find something that's going to monetarily make this pay off.
That's right.
After that, man, do whatever it is you want to do.
Hey man, you sound like a well put together brother, man. I'm glad my cousin got you on here so we could speak today, bro. On some real.
Man, I just hope that this reaches. I wanted to reach people so people can take these ideas and be like, you know what, man, I'm gonna start doing my kids like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start holding my kids to that.
Yeah.
Because it's, once again, these are just fundamental principles that have been lost in translation in our community. See, I don't worry about what happens outside of our community.
That's right.
Because that world is a world I don't necessarily touch on a daily basis. But I'm gonna be black all the time.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And I want to see black people strive and be successful. I want those things to be for us, and it only happens if the families and the households that we pay rent on and pay mortgages on, if we conduct those in a manner that breeds success.
That's right. Hold each other accountable, man. Like you
That's
said,
it, man.
accountability and expectations.
Ronnie and her man have a beautiful little girl. See, it's their responsibility to make sure she grow up with accountability and expectations.
That's right.
And I'm gonna hold them to that as long as I'm here.
For real.
I'm gonna hold them to that. You can ask anybody that work in this barbershop. I ask them about their kids at least once a week. I'm gonna ask them what their kids do. It's not that I'm nosy, but I just be wanting to know.
Yeah. But that shows, like, when your kids go off to school, how they interacting with the teacher. You always getting phone calls from the teacher. That shows the lack of accountability at home and expectations at home. Because if you got expectations, you know not to go out here acting a fool.
Man, you already know.
Because we done corrected that from jump. You know how to act when we walk up out here.
If this woman called out.
And then, like you say, when you going out and you holding the whole community to a certain standard, because it's just not good to make sure your kid's okay going out into the community that's not okay, right? Because it's a trickle effect. If you're only worrying about yours, you become the target. You become the prey, So you have to definitely be, and that's what we lacking right now, man. We don't even know our neighbors' names no more. We used to know neighbors from one part of the block to the end of the block. Everybody know everybody's name,
And that's so true. But what happened was, as blacks became more economically stable and upwardly mobile,
they started moving out
black neighborhoods broke up. I don't know how St. Louis. I've never been there.
Same way.
But there's only few places, like here in Dallas. I can't say if you go like to Cedar Hill, DeSoto, Duncanville, there are black neighborhoods that are affluent and doing well. But by and large, if you grow up in the hood, in the inner city, in the poverty. I'm from the inner city New Orleans and inner city Dallas. My parents got themselves together and got their paper up. We moved to another neighborhood. We moved out of that neighborhood. Now, they did the right thing by moving us to a better location. They did the right thing. But what they did do that I commend them for, we kept our cultural connection. See, I still had cousins that still live in South Dallas. I still got cousins that live in Oak Cliff. We still going over there visiting. Yeah. So we not losing that. We just don't live here no more.
Yeah.
But we still kept our connection.
Yeah.
But with the same accountability and expectations that they had for us over there, we still got those over here. What happens is when we get money, we move out here, like where I work and where I live. These are affluent areas. So I might say it might be me and 3 more black families that live in a neighborhood of 24 houses.
Yeah.
So no longer are we living in a black neighborhood. Now I got some Indians live over here, some white, some Asian, some Hispanic. So we don't necessarily glean to those communities like that. They don't glean to us like that.
Yeah.
They might speak to us on the street. but they don't invite us over to
We
the
ain't
house.
knocking on
Yeah.
the door.
And I don't be inviting them over to the house.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real
It's
with
a
you.
cultural disconnect too.
It's the cultural disconnect.
Yeah.
Because one thing I've learned about, as being a black man and being the head of a black family, these other cultures don't respect us like that, especially if you're an American black.
Yeah. Yeah.
The African blacks, they treat us different.
I'm already knowing.
Yeah, we got to get that fixed first.
That
But the other cultures, they look at us like, oh man, there they go. So they tend to be standoffish. Not all the time, but a large portion of them.
Yeah.
But a lot of those other cultures, they stay insulated. If you come here, you go to a certain neighborhood in Frisco, it's gonna be all Indian people live over there.
Yeah.
You get to a certain place in Richardson, it's all Asians live over there. You know what I'm saying? They get communities. And they actually make communities. They get grocery stores, they have hospitals, they have fire departments. That's a community. See, we live in neighborhoods. They have community.
And it's like you said, the only way we're gonna fix the community is going, like you said, with the mentality of one block at a time, and understanding that you have to show and lead by example that we got a standard on this block. Even if you got to get a lawn person who gonna cut everybody grass, and y'all come up with a monthly bill to pay the person, but you develop a system that have everybody uniform in a regard of the perception of the community, because it means a lot, man, when your kid can go outside and not see beer bottles and bull stuff all over his the outside right before they go into what's supposed to be to school. You feel me? All that play a part when you ain't looking at vacant houses on the way to school. It's literally been a psychological study that shows that kids do better when they go past better environments on the way to school. You feel what I'm saying? So
because you got motivation when you're going
I'm
to
looking
school.
at
You know what I'm
destitute.
saying?
I feel like once I get to school, I'm already at a disadvantage. I come from a destitute place. So my identification of my position is overwhelming, and to a kid that can be hard. Then you got social media that's compiled on top of that tells you this is what you're supposed to be, and it's projected to them 1,000 times more than it was given to us. So the psychological effect on these kids, man, it's a tenfold. So now they immediately trying to get instant gratification. They picking up guns, trying to get money. They robbing. They doing whatever they can to feel like they somebody, because the world has told them they nothing.
But if you at home,
what you said,
that they're in a place where they can be whatever that they want to be, and that they are somebody that matters.
Yeah.
That outside world can't beat them down.
Nah,
See,
that's right.
Once again, you can't control the outside influence.
That's right.
What they telling you can't be this, you can't be that. Okay, they said that, but you've been hearing from me for the last 15, 16, 17 years. You can be whatever you want to be.
Yeah.
You're great. You're special. If I've been doing that outside
but
noise,
it's a two-part with that too. Now we could tell them. Now we have to show them. So
I was gonna say, if you don't show them, and you
tell
just
you can be, but if I ain't going outside to make sure that your environment is conducive to what I'm telling you can be, if I ain't acting as such, see, that's where we fall short in community, where a lot of parents, we privileged, we have made it to a level of understanding and economical upheaval that we can have our kids in a safe haven. Right? But a lot of people are still in position where they are just telling their kids they can be without the proof of being. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a disconnect. And not only if your household ain't in order to a certain level, the community ain't looking decent. All that plays a part, man.
It's all gonna come back to that house.
It all is, man.
See, you don't have to have money.
To cut your grass. You don't.
You don't have to have money to have respect and morals. You can still live in a lower income neighborhood.
That part.
But if when I come in your house, I gotta take my hat off in the house.
That part.
I gotta say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta wipe my feet before I come in, or I gotta take my shoes off at the door.
Yeah.
Or I can't talk. I can't be cussing in the house because your grandmother's in here.
Yeah.
See, respect and morals travel no matter where it is.
That's real.
Once again, inside this house, we're setting the foundation for what you got to go outside. Now, once again, when we get outside of our home, I have to have respect. First of all, the people that are around me have to respect me. So I have to carry myself in a respectful manner. You know what I'm saying? So when I see my neighbor and I tell Miss Jackson, hey, Miss Jackson, do you need my son to come over there and cut the grass for you? The grass getting kind of long. Or do I need to get my son to wheel your trash cans up there for you? Or I should be able to go tell Mr. Johnson, hey, Mr. Johnson, it's some broken bottles in the alley behind your house, in that driveway. You might want to clean that up. He shouldn't take an aggressive attitude towards me because I haven't treated him in a manner what makes him think that I've earned a level of respect. You know, well, the Big Mike came over here and said that, you know what I'm saying? I respect Big Mike.
Yeah, he was just looking out. You hear me? And
that's the way. That's what we have
changed
to do.
A lot of things. Yeah, man. That's
I got a heavy one, y'all. For it's heavy. How you feel about the Preston Malone, the third kid, the Lancaster High School kid who died?
Football player.
The football player.
Man, you know, as a former football coach, you know, my heart go out to him because in my mind, and this is the way I feel. If you play football, man, you gonna always get a lot of respect from me because it take a lot to go out there and run full speed into somebody else.
Yes, sir.
Especially in this heat.
Yeah, it's not built. Everybody's not built to do that.
Yes,
and that's whether you're a good player or a bad player.
Yeah.
You got the guts to go out there and do that. I carry a high level of respect for you. Now, what happens is because we're so hot here in Texas, you have a lot of precautions and safeguards that have been put into place over you to try and prevent these things. Now, I don't know the intricate details of that, and we probably won't know until we get autopsies and all of that, because you don't know what individual health condition this young man was. We don't know what the practice conditions were that he was working and operating under. I don't know those things, but it's always sad. Anytime a kid loses their life, it's sad. Anytime a kid loses their life doing something that's supposed to be fun, it's extra sad.
Yeah.
So my heart goes out to their family because you know those people when they sent them to practice that morning, that's not the news that they expected to get that evening.
And even when I first heard about it, I was just like, okay, what can they do a little different? But once I read up on it and got more details, they were practicing inside, but they didn't have air. Like they had the garage doors open and the fans. But I think the sad part that got me is when they got him to the hospital, he apologized to the coach about not being able to finish his workout and told his trainer that he'll be okay. And then it took a turn. Everything took a turn overnight.
Yeah. So because you don't know what kind of internal damage was done.
It was done, yeah.
You don't know. He might have been at that moment cognizant enough to say those things, and that lets you know he was a G out there. But you don't know because what happens a lot of times in these heat-related deaths, your organs, your internal organs shut down.
Yeah.
They become overheated, and it causes a ripple effect where your organs shut down. So you don't know what happened to him.
Don't get oxygen to the brain at that point.
Anything,
it's
a
lot of scenarios.
It
is hurtful.
Losing child, man. And like I said, my heart goes out to him. And the best thing, especially here in Texas, we got to get indoor facilities for these schools. That's the best way to cut to you can't eliminate it, but to minimize.
Yeah. Or at least like until then, like practice after 7 or something. Do you think that's like?
Well, you're not gonna be able to get that
sunlight, that real
football
recreation.
Practice 6 o'clock, usually 6 o'clock. Youth football 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. High school football is different because they have a certain number of hours that they can practice.
Yeah.
And they have certain stipulations on them that in regard to school.
But you want that real time feel when you're practicing too. Hey, I don't mean to rush or wrap it up, man, but our time always ensuing. I definitely, before you get off on here, man, I want to let you know how much I appreciate this conversation. It's definitely been one for the books, and hopefully we can get you back on here again.
Man, always, bro. Look, man, I'm here. I'm always willing to talk, share, conversate, chime in, whatever it is, man. Especially on a platform that you're trying to build, that you're trying to build up, man. I don't mind being a regular on here, man.
Yes,
I want to definitely help other people grow what they got grown.
Well, definitely, man. We definitely salute and welcome you, man. Cuz, anything you want to say before you get off?
Just thank you, Mike. Let us know where we can find you. This was a good conversation with Perion. Definitely gonna have you back.
Oh, absolutely. But you can find me on Facebook. My name is Michael James Hamilton II. You can find me on there. On Instagram, I'm School SKOOL Clothes CLOTHES 2310. That's my Instagram page. You know, anything you see me with wearing on my page, can be purchased. Only thing you have to do is DM me about what you saw, what you like. I make custom clothes, and that's what we're doing.
I'm about to send you a DM, man. I'm about to send you a DM, dog. Hey, again, salute, man. It's been a pleasure. Candlelight Confessions, all the way in Dallas. Salute. Until next time, it's your boy Perion. It's Conversation with P. We out.
Bye, y'all.
For sure, bro.
Yep. Cuz that was dope, dog. It's so cute, Jess. I don't know what to do. Well, I need to hit music. Play some music. Well, I good. All right, there we
go. Money. Yeah. Money. Talk my shit right now. Yeah. Niggas talking like they Ford built. These niggas be soft and silk. They posting these pigs with all these blicks and then they still getting killed. I know you surprised that since you died, your niggas ain't slide shit. They just posted your pic and they rolled your dick. I feel like you died for shit. Don't bring them around me. Look, I ain't got enough patience. I'm losing my wig, I'm missing my bitch. I ain't see my kids, I'm frustrated. Big booty bitch wanna lay up and talk all night, but I ain't with the cupcake. I roll a go and I pop me a ball and I fell asleep on a bitch butt naked. You know pussy don't excite me. That's not what red about. I'm like Curl House, baby honcho like nice things. Fuck your whereabouts, all I care about. What the fuck you brought back for me? Yeah, whore, what you got for me? Since you say you got the eyes for me.